from Mobile World Congress 2023. I'm here together with Ashley Onyango. She is the head of financial inclusion and architect at GSMA. Hello, Ashley. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Kim. Thank you for having me.
So, fintech, financial inclusion is a big buzzword, especially in Africa, where we see the latest statistics said that still a majority of the people are unbanked, unfortunately. So how is your take on, or GSMA take on financial inclusion on the African continent?
Yeah, so I mean, globally still there's 1.4 billion people who are unbanked, and a large majority of those are in sub-Saharan Africa. A large majority of them are in rural, really remote areas, most vulnerable populations, women, the poorest populations. And the way in which we try to approach this is bringing the mobile network's scale and outreach to support and drive financial inclusion through financial services. We work together with mobile money providers across the continent to deploy mobile money services to those who are unbanked. Mobile money has been proven to actually have made huge progress in banking many of those who are formerly out of reach for your more traditional financial service providers like banks. So in our program, we specifically work with mobile money providers, fintechs across the continent to really drive reach, to drive scale, and also usability. So working on the services that they're providing to make sure that they are impactful for their lives and useful.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So what do you see are the main challenges to, let's say, fill the gap, let's say, to bank the unbanked, actually?
Yeah. So there's a couple of key barriers to reaching the unbanked. One is just awareness, so building the awareness, and that can include building the digital and financial skills to be able to adopt and then use a mobile money service.
So that's more from an educational perspective. Would you say more for older generation, or even would say the younger?
Even the younger, I think it depends. There's a big divide between rural and urban. So it's as you get out into the rural areas, it's going to be much more prevalent and pervasive. In the urban areas, you see much higher, digital literacy for people to access, and more awareness of mobile money in those touch points. I would say another key barrier is, the regulatory issues. So still 37% of the people in the world say they can't actually get a mobile money account because they don't have a formal ID. Okay. And so that's a big issue, and it's locking them out of being able to have a financial service and financial account in their mobile, in their hands. So that's an issue we face. There's other regulatory barriers on KYC. Taxation actually has been, we've seen that reduce. So people who have had accounts and been using accounts, when new taxes are provided onto the financial services, onto the digital financial transactions, they revert to cash. And so it's not just about including those who are already unbanked or who are still unbanked, it's also about maintaining those who are banked and continuing to be able to serve them and meet their needs.
Mm-hmm. So you also would say that the regulators are very important, that they are on board to support any initiative from...
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of countries in Africa have really strong national financial strategies to include their constituencies in the financial services space. And so it's working together with them on those strategies and trying to help them to define, to push that forward and progress with mobile money services.
We have seen with some of the operators like Vodacom with VodaPay, a super app. Would you say that that's the right way in the future to drive the whole process?
Yeah, I mean, there's a journey, right? So I think it's really important that they're looking at the journey of mobile money usage, and for many it starts with USSD, so it starts at a very basic level. But as people graduate, and maybe at that point in time they're only able to afford a very feature phone, a very basic phone, and then as they graduate, they have more affordability to buy a smartphone. Then apps become more accessible. They learn more. Super apps then come into the picture and give them a lot more usability and services. So I think it's important because there's a wide journey. What's really important though is not to forget those that their entry point is going to be that basic feature phone. And if we don't continue to serve them with that entry point, we'll lose them and we won't get them onto the formal financial system.
And then you have also the issue of the affordability of devices.
Exactly.
I mean, can someone afford a device?
Yeah, affordability of a handset is really a big barrier, particularly for women. So we see that being a big barrier. And in as much as we're driving smartphone prices down, it's still inaccessible to many.
And how does it affect especially women when we talk about the devices?
Yeah, affordability. I mean, women are, they have, I would say, more price sensitivity, and so there's a higher percentage of women who don't own a phone that the affordability is the key barrier for that. And so, it's about finding solutions to meet those needs to help, either bring down the cost of the device, help them with financing options. And there's actually been some call to action here this week to say to governments, like, how can we remove taxes on, very basic feature phones to support the, bringing that cost lower.
And what is the GSMA strategy in order to support the whole process, to bring everyone together? Because what we learned now is that it's a mix of several factors who come together to make these things happen.
Yeah, so within our mobile money program, we work a lot with the ecosystem. So we're working with mobile money providers on the business side, the kind of commercial, how to drive reach and scale and use, like the user experience, et cetera. But we're also working really closely with regulators on the policy side. So we're looking at, we advocate for best practices in markets. We work together where, regulators are curious as to how to kind of make choices and changes that would benefit the mobile financial services sector. So we work both on that side, but as well with the mobile money providers.
All right. Thank you very much. It was very insightful. Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. There was Tech Africa News from Mobile World Congress 2023. Find more on our website, techafricanews.com.